We got Sean Pineau.
Perfect.
Sean Pineau of Locus Robotics. Locus Robotics, we've had on the show many times. Sean is a first timer though, right?
I'm sorry?
First time on the show, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Sean is director of 3PL sales for Locus Robotics, right?
I am.
So tell us a little bit about, if people are not familiar with Locus Robotics, just give us a brief overview.
All right. So, Locus Robotics is a global leader in warehouse automation, so mobile robotics. We have 3 forms of AMR.
Mm-hmm.
So we handle, for a lot of our customers, we handle the piece picking operations for e-commerce, fulfillment, other types of order fulfillment. We handle some put away operation as well. So products, going from an overstock area back onto the pick shelves. And now with the Vector and Max robot, which are 2 larger robots, we can handle some pallet movement, pick to pallet. So we can basically build pallet orders on demand for customers and shuttle those pallets to the dock door for delivery to be loaded on the trucks.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's been very interesting to see how you guys have evolved and now expanded the offerings to be able to handle higher payloads, right? Especially with the acquisition of Waypoint, right, and bringing those things in. So you are director of 3PL sales, right? So tell us a little bit about, especially now, right, for 3PLs, this is like the peak season, high season, right? So tell us a little bit about, as you're interacting with these 3PLs and, some of the challenges they're facing at this time.
Yeah, so conversation we have quite a bit. So I've been in the role about 4 months, promoted up out of our retail sales team. Heading into peak season, some of the things that our customers are focused on, obviously, is the big surge in volume.
Right.
Being able to handle that volume. The way Locust does it is we do a short-term bot rental for peak. So a customer will have a core fleet of robots. We'll call it 40, right? And that's the robots that it takes them to do their everyday business for 10 months a year. Then we get into this holiday peak, their volumes maybe double. So we do some analysis. We have a sales engineering team. We partner a sales engineer with the salesperson, work collaboratively with the 3PL customer, do the analysis to determine, all right, for your peak volumes, for the expectations, the forecast, you're going to need 60 or 70 robots total. And we'll do a short-term robot rental of that extra 30 robots to get them through peak. At the end of peak, they're going to package them up, send them back to Locus, and we'll either refurb them, send them to another customer, put them on the shelf, whatever's appropriate.
Interesting.
One of the other things that our customers are seeing more and more now with like Instagram sales and things like that are these big surges in volume. The big challenge there, that surge in volume's totally unexpected, unplanned to the 3PL. They don't know it's coming. They don't know that there's going to be a promotion on social media that's going to get this product going from a couple orders a week to a couple hundred in a day. And so we're working on different tools and concepts with our customers to mitigate those surges in volume as well for the flash sales that they're seeing.
Interesting. So, is that more on the software side or the hardware side? How does that work?
It's again, collaborative effort. So in some customer sites, it's more about, hey, when you have a flash sale, can you extend your hours? Is there maybe a customer in a 3PL where we've got multiple customers? Is there maybe a customer that has a different delivery expectations, SLAs, right? Can we migrate some robots from one area to another to handle a flash sale? Do we put spares on site, right? So there's a number of different tools that we're looking at to be able to work with them and get them through some of their pain points.
Interesting. And we have a lot of 3PLs that watch and listen, and some definitely what you would consider like a boutique 3PL, I guess, in a sense, right? Smaller 3PLs. So if you're looking at automation, right, and I think one of the big questions that are on like a lot of people's minds is like, is it time for me to start to automate? Is it time for me to look at robotics? When is that right time? So if you're a 3PL, at what level of volume would you really suggest that like we should be looking at sort of a Locus option?
We've got some loose guardrails around some of that, right? And I'll say it's a minimum 15,000 square feet or so. Order volume off the top of my head, I'll say at least 6,000 orders a day. But again, that's really variable because what does that order profile look like, right? Is it 6,000 single line orders? Are they multi-line orders with high SKU counts across each SKU?
Yeah.
So what I would say to that is let's talk, right? Let's have a conversation. We'll see what your baselines are, where you're at today, and then we can give you some guidance on what your growth needs to be based on the current business you're doing, your order volume profile, hey, at this point is really when we should be talking and planning and go through that whole process with the prospective customer.
Interesting. Yeah, because I think that's like one thing. It's kind of like, am I big enough now to do this, or when is the right time for me to start to look at this? And I think a lot of people are running into challenges, especially around labor and things like that. And that's kind of like where that question starts to come into play. So how is the Locust Bot, I guess, kind of addressing some of those challenges around the labor issues that 3PLs are seeing?
Yeah. So that is the biggest thing. The other thing, Locust itself is scalable, so we can scale with the customer needs, up and down. The interface for the associate interacting with the robot is an iPad. So almost everybody has an iPhone or something very similar.
Yeah.
It's super relatable for them. It's very intuitive to use, right? So they're not overwhelmed by the fact that, hey, I'm picking with a robot now. It's pretty simple. It's got a cool factor to it. So we definitely see the adaptation within warehouses very high, and the employees feel like that business is making an investment into their specific job and their specific life, and as a result, their workday is improved, right? They're not pushing heavy carts or tugging carts around the warehouse. They're not walking a bit less, and they can just focus on the tasks that they're paid for.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, there's also such a focus, and you see, when you go to the trade shows and you see the Locust booth, obviously the bot is what catches your attention, but there's a lot going on behind the scenes too. So talk to us a little bit about, from the Locust software side, how that's helpful to like a 3PL.
Perfect. Yeah, so the software, the brains behind the bot is Locus One software.
Yeah.
So we have a singular software platform, and what that software does really is, from the customer's WMS, the order pool is dropped into our software. What happens then is we've got a whole bunch of advanced algorithms and some really intelligent people that have worked on it. That software will then group the orders and prepare them to go on a bot by, the size, how many can we get on a bot, where are they located in the warehouse and the proximity to each other, because not only do we want the warehouse associates to travel the least possible, we want our bot missions to be as short as possible and those cycle times to be as quick as we can get them. So we intelligently will put like orders on the same robot so that we can have a much higher hit rate, as we're going down a specific aisle with that robot to complete the order. And then, within the software, we can deliver to whatever delivery point we need to, whether it's a hospital, right? We can do exception handling if it's a short pick, a damaged item, or something like that. And then now we can do a couple other things that are pretty cool. We can drop off to multiple drop points if needed. We can do a pick and pass. So if we're working on a multi-level pick mezzanine, we can have an order that starts on floor 1, finishes on floor 4, and we can work that order all the way up through with Locus, through our pick and pass functionality.
Nice. Yeah. I think that really kind of takes you to the next level, right, of being able to make that all come together and have those bots orchestrated and all the different tasks that are happening in between as well, right? It makes it very, very easy. It's for the 3PL to be able to kind of tackle this now and get themselves to that next level of business. And I think it's really great to be able to pair that, because a lot of times, you have the hardware, but the hardware is only as smart and strong as the software behind it, right?
Yeah. And I'll say that the biggest thing that makes Locust different, I think, is our company was founded by folks that ran 3PL business.
Yeah.
They ran
Bruce.
Quiet Logistics, and they're very well versed in the challenges and the heartburn that they had running that business. They understand what it's like to be at the ground level, dealing with the everyday challenges. So they took an approach from a user perspective when they built out this business. They didn't have a robot and say, where do we find a spot for the robot to fit? They actually had a plan to build out a business around the challenges and use the robot to fill that void.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's such an interesting thing. And we had Bruce Welty, actually was our first podcast episode ever.
I heard that.
Yeah. So So if you're ever interested in the founder story there, you could check that out. So Sean, very interesting stuff, and appreciate you stopping by, giving us these insights on Locust, so from the 3PL perspective. So it's great to see you, and definitely appreciate you coming by.
Kevin, thank you so much for having me on. Appreciate it.
Definitely. Thanks, Sean. Have a good
great
one.
day.
You too.